Hey everyone, it's Ryan here. So this video is my predictions for WWE Hell in a Cell 2020. There are only 5 matches for this pay-per-view, so hopefully it's just a 2.5 hour show. I guess we'll see how long they make the matches last, and if they just throw in any last minute matches. They might do, I don't know. I'm going to go over the main, I'm going to go over the 2 smaller matches, and then I'll go over the bigger matches. One thing I might have an issue with already is that with there only being 5 matches on them, 3 of them are in Hell in a Cell. So either it's going to be, starts off with the Cell down, and it's one of the matches. Cell goes up for a match, Cell goes down for the 3rd one. Cell goes up for the 4th match, Cell goes down for the 5th one. Or they do the 2 normal matches, and then they just keep the Cell down for the rest of the pay-per-view. So, first one, Otis versus The Miz. It's a singles match for the Money in the Bank contract. It's been 8 years since this. The last one I recall, actually, was it 7 years? The last 2 I recall are John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler at TLC 2012, where AJ turned on John Cena and sided with Dolph Ziggler. And then I think SummerSlam 2013, when it was Jericho versus Ziggler. No, because Ziggler wouldn't have had the briefcase then. Or would he? Ziggler had something. Was it 2012? SummerSlam 2012, I think it was. So, both in 2012. I think twice in 2012, Dolph had to defend a contract, or I think it was, oh yes, sorry, it was 2012. I'm trying to remember it now. SummerSlam 2012, Jericho versus Ziggler. I think if Jericho won, he got Ziggler's contract. Ziggler won, so he retained, Money in the Bank contract. So Ziggler won, so he kept his Money in the Bank contract, and then they had a match where if Jericho lost, he would be fired from the company. And Jericho lost. So I think it was on Raw as well, like the Raw after. So then Jericho left for a while, and then that led to him returning at Royal Rumble 2013 when Dolph Ziggler's entrance won, and then they made a big deal of Ziggler going like, oh, you were fired, blah, blah, blah. And then I think Vicky, the next day, had signed him back, because this was sort of the time where Dolph dumped Vicky for AJ Lee. Like I said, with TLC 2012, with Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena for the Money in the Bank contract in a ladder match. It's nice to recall stories sometimes. Anyway, so it's Otis versus The Miz for the Money in the Bank contract. This whole clusterfuck with the whole draft. So essentially, everyone but Otis has moved over to Raw. Miz and Morrison are on Raw. Tucker's on Raw, Mandy's on Raw. Despite the fact Mandy was traded to Raw 3 weeks before, turns out by The Miz, because he's got connections to the USA Network, because obviously he has a show on there, which I like that logic. And basically, Miz has been trying to make his life a living hell. Otis has obviously been attacking Miz and Morrison every now and then, before the whole draft thing. And Miz is trying to get... Miz basically, whilst they were on SmackDown, they had this storyline where Miz was filing for a lawsuit against Otis for essentially physical and emotional abuse, and negligence for the Money in the Bank contract. Basically because Otis hadn't been on TV for like 3 months after winning the contract. They then take it to this court. They took it to court, and they have this segment called Law and Otis, which I thought was pretty funny. Miz and Morrison have a lawyer. Otis is representing himself. JBL is the judge. You got Ron Simmons, who's like the security, I guess, to the side. Every now and then Teddy Long pops up. JBL questions Miz, why should you have the Money in the Bank contract? He says, because Otis has been physically and emotionally abusing me for months, and he's been negligent of the Money in the Bank contract and hasn't cashed it in. He then goes to Otis. He goes, Otis, why do you think you deserve to have the Money in the Bank contract? He goes, and obviously Otis's character, he's like not the smartest tool in the shed. And he goes, I believe I should have the Money in the Bank contract because I won the Money in the Bank ladder match. And JBL was like, yeah, that's fair. And it's like, yeah, it is, you know. So then Miz fires his lawyer for obviously not winning that argument. He then like gets several people to go up on the, like, obviously in the chair. I don't know what it's called. I don't really watch Judge whatever. Well, there's loads of them. There's like Rindo, Judy, whatever, and all that shit. Anyway, so I think he questions John Morrison at first, and John Morrison saying he went through the same pain the Miz did. And obviously now they're on Raw. Otis keeps finding ways to attack him. Obviously they snuck on as El Gran Gordo. He then gets Tucker up there, and Miz basically aggravates Tucker, and Tucker's like, you know, I kind of really want to punch you in the face right now. And Miz is like, see, that's the violence I'm on about. That's what Otis has been doing to me as well. Like, Asuka shows up at one point, essentially because obviously she was the women's Money in the Bank contract winner. So she can basically, she vouches for Otis by saying, well, yeah, I won mine and I cashed in, but that was through my choice. Where, like, I'm like trying to translate from Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. So I think basically what they're trying to say is she understands why Otis has it because he won it just the way that she did. Comes down to, oh yeah, it's weird because Ron Simmons says more than just damn. Like, he says damn at the end, but he actually says more than that. And obviously it's been a very long time before he started saying extra words. But yeah, so it comes down to the end, and JBL's in favour of Otis. And Miz goes, oh, hold on 1 second. I forgot this very vital piece of information. Brings up this briefcase. Gives it to JBL. JBL opens it, looks at Ron Simmons, closes it, and he goes, oh, with this latest evidence that's just come in, I will favour inside of the Miz. Basically hinting that he's basically just been bribed with, like, money or something. And basically he's made Otis fight Miz at Hell in a Cell for the briefcase. I've gone for the Miz to win. That took like 4 minutes just to explain that match. I've gone for the Miz to win. I feel like the whole hype around Otis, especially around WrestleMania season and then Money in the Bank, I feel like it's sort of worn off by now. I don't think people are as interested in Otis as they were back then. And I feel like the Miz could do more with a briefcase. Obviously, everyone's been campaigning for the Miz to have one more WWE title run and a decent one this time. Because he had it a decade ago, and obviously he was much younger in his career. And he was sort of just, he was like, it was sort of, he was just there as a champ. It was like, you know, when Jericho was Undisputed Champion, like, he wasn't, like, the main picture for the Undisputed title, it was Triple H and Steph. But Jericho just happened to be the champion at the time. Whereas for when he was WWE Champion, it was about Rock and Cena, and Miz just happened to be champion at the time. So I'm like, we're sort of hoping that he has maybe gets a decent run with the world title this time, and actually people pay attention to him this time around, especially with how much he's improved over the years and just how good he's actually been. So yeah, I've gone for the Miz to take it with him. Otis will be by himself on SmackDown. Like, Miz will make it to the point he's lost everything. He's lost his girlfriend Mandy, he's lost his tag partner Tucker, and now he's lost his briefcase. So yeah, like I said, I went for the Miz to win. It sort of will play into something later on, which I'll get into. The next match, Jeff Hardy versus Elias in a regular singles match. There was a fatal four-way match. Oh, sorry, triple threat match between AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Seth Rollins. So this was like the last Monday before everyone went to their respective shows, because Seth is now on SmackDown, and obviously AJ's on Raw, Jeff's on Raw. The other triple threat match is a really good match, and then Elias comes in and smacks Jeff Hardy with a guitar. So then Jeff Hardy loses the match because AJ pins him. The reason Elias has attacked Jeff Hardy is because months ago, when Jeff Hardy was feuding with Sheamus, there was an incident in the parking lot where Elias has been run over. There's a car parked, sort of like left with the door open, sort of crashed into a curb. And then down the road is Jeff Hardy, who's passed out in a bush. This was like 6 months ago, I'd say, because this was around Extreme Rules time. So yeah, about 6 months. I believe they revealed that Sheamus was behind the whole thing anyway. But yeah, Elias has come back, attacked him, thinks Jeff is the one that ran him over. Jeff is saying, well, I didn't run you over. It's like, you know, all this stuff. So basically that's what the feud is, and it's happening at Hell in a Cell. I've gone for Elias to win. It's his first match back after being away with an injury for a while. So I feel like Elias needs to win more than Jeff Hardy does. Jeff Hardy's at that point in his career where it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses. Obviously, he's just recently been Intercontinental Champion, so he's had some relative success. So yeah, I've gone for Elias to win this one. This is probably the one with the least investment in, to be honest, because I think, well, it's the only one that has nothing on the line, and it's only had like 2 weeks build. So, you know. Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship in a Hell in a Cell match. Sasha turned on Bayley. No, Bayley turned on Sasha a couple of months ago and ripped her off with a neck injury, basically stomping on the chair with it around the neck. Sasha then tried to attack her at the pay-per-view, Clash of Champions. Bayley managed to get away. Sasha's basically been campaigning for this match with her. Tried to get her to sign a contract last week. Bayley refused. And then she signed it this week because she made Vince pay a double for the match. I've gone for Bayley to retain. Sasha's not had the best success with Hell in a Cell, and I feel like they want to make this go longer. And I think Bayley should, I think Bayley would be much better with the title than Sasha would, especially with this whole recent turn and supposed to be overcoming these odds type thing. There's a funny video. Well, I don't think it's meant to be funny, but I found it funny. Sasha Banks basically does a backstage promo, and she basically says how she's the boss of the cell. She's had 2 Hell in a Cell matches, and she's lost both of them. So, boss of the cell, you know. Unless she means she's been in the most, then fair enough. I guess she's right about that. But in terms of success, she's not successful. She would also be the only one to face all 3 fellow horsewomen in Hell in a Cell. She faced Charlotte in the very first one, which wasn't that good. She faced Becky in the second one, which was much better. And then she's now facing Bayley in this one. So I'm intrigued to see where they go with this. I think people wanted it to last till WrestleMania. I think that'd be too long to have this Bayley-Sasha thing go on. And if you are to do it till WrestleMania, you've got to have a break in the middle. I don't think people want the same people all year round. People are already getting sick of feuds that have already happened. Like, they've already had pay-per-view matches 2 or 3 times, yet they're fine with this one. So, it's that backwards logic that some wrestling fans have, unfortunately. But yeah, I've gone for Bayley to retain. I don't see Sasha winning here. And if she did, she'll most likely just drop the title because her and title defences do not mix well. I believe she's had 6 titles on the main roster and she's not successfully defended any one of them. So, take it for what you are. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. This is Orton's 3rd attempt at the title. I think this is one of the ones where people are sort of like, the whole, it's going on a bit too much. Like, yeah, it's the 3rd time we've had this on pay-per-view now. And Drew's won both times already, so people don't have faith in Drew winning this one. I've personally, and I tried to do this before because of just how well Randy Orton's been this year, I'm going for Orton to win again. Like, I know I failed the last 2 times, but with The Miz winning the Money in the Bank contract, this is where it plays in. Orton wins the title, and I feel around November time, because I believe that's when it actually happened a decade ago, Miz tries to cash in on Orton again, because he has that thought in his head of past glory, where when he was WWE Champion, he cashed in on Randy Orton to win the title. I feel like he'll try and do that, and he will fail. Or he'll try to, and maybe returning Edge. I doubt it. I think Edge Orton might be WrestleMania. People want Edge versus Orton for the title at Mania. But I feel like Miz will have that flashback of a decade ago where he cashed in on Orton to win his WWE title. So he thinks, I could do that again. So he tries to cash in on Orton and maybe fails this time. So yeah, I've gone for Orton to win. I've enjoyed Drew McIntyre as a champion. He's been a very strong champion, very entertaining champion. Like I said, I feel like Orton will win it. And then hopefully down the line, when fans are back in, Drew can win the title again. Off who? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I've gone for Randy Orton to win. And then the match I am most interested in watching. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in Hell in a Cell I Quit match for the Universal Championship. So they had the match at Clash of Champions where Jey Uso won the #1 Contenders match and then was facing Roman Reigns. Roman didn't really want to face him, and then sort of the heel turn started to come out, and then he basically said he wanted Jey to acknowledge him as a tribal chief. starts beating up during the match. It's an amazing match to watch. I recommend you go back and watch that. And eventually, Jimmy throws in the towel for him. So now they have this Hell in a Cell match. Roman basically granted him the rematch and saying, now it's going to be an I Quit match, but I want you to admit I'm the Tribal Chief. On the SmackDown before, I think he beat the crap out of Jimmy Uso in the cell with Jay on the outside. He said there'll be consequences if you don't acknowledge me. I think he says, like, if I win and you don't acknowledge me, then you, your family, your family's family are all out, like, essentially banished from the Samoan dynasty, so you won't be getting any, essentially, like, you won't be getting any money, you won't be getting any food, you won't be getting it, basically, like, you're out of the family type thing. But yeah, again, Roman as a heel has been one of the best things on WWE right now. I've gone for Roman to win. I feel with this one, with it being an I Quit match, I think Jey Uso is going to pass out from pain. Or, well, I guess pass out from pain, or lack of oxygen, because Roman Reigns has recently introduced a submission finisher. So he's got a guillotine choke, sort of like Braun Strowman used to do when he started, where basically just wraps him around the neck and obviously just holds him. I feel like he's going to do that to Jey, and basically try and get him to quit, but then Jey will just pass out. Sort of similar to WrestleMania 13 with Brett and Austin. I believe that was meant to be an I Quit match. Or it might just be a normal match, but Stone Cold passed out from pain, and basically that's how Brett won. I feel like they're going to go down that route where Jey doesn't quit, he passes out from pain. So Roman's going to win, but not through the actual I Quit rules that they've set. So yeah, that's my predictions for the show. If they add any more, then whatever. Like, if they've added last minute, then obviously they're not important. So I've gone The Miz, Elias, Bayley, Randy Orton, and Roman. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy Hell in a Cell. Me and my wrestling friends are going to be watching it again. We just watched Bound for Glory. There's a video for that which will go up before this. So do watch that if you want. And again, thank you for watching. I shall hope to see you in the next one. Bye.